Have you ever pondered what could possibly lead to the division of a country as vast and diverse as India? The partition of India remains one of the most momentous and contentious events of the 20th century. It saw the mighty British Indian Empire cleaved into two independent dominions, India and Pakistan. This schism, a bitter legacy of British colonial rule, sowed seeds of discord that still linger. The partition of India was not just a geographical division, but a catastrophic event that left a deep impact on millions of lives. So, what exactly led to this momentous shift in the map of South Asia? Our journey begins in the early 20th century, where the seeds of partition were sown. The British Empire, having ruled India for nearly 2 centuries, had instilled a divisive policy of divide and rule, which led to an increasing communal tension between the Hindus and Muslims. As we move forward to the 1930s, the All India Muslim League, headed by the charismatic Muhammad Ali Jinnah, started voicing the demand for a separate Muslim state. They argued that Muslims would never be able to exercise their rights or preserve their culture in a Hindu-majority India. The year 1940 saw the British Empire, weakened by the Second World War, begin to consider the idea of leaving India. However, the question remained, how to do so without causing chaos and bloodshed? This brings us to the year 1947. Lord Mountbatten, the last Viceroy of India, was tasked with the monumental job of overseeing the transition. He proposed the Mountbatten Plan, a strategy that involved dividing British India along religious lines into 2 separate nations, India and Pakistan. June of the same year brought the moment that would forever change the face of South Asia. The British government announced the partition of India. This decision, which was supposed to prevent communal violence, ironically ignited one of the deadliest communal riots in history. The announcement of the partition was met with a mix of joy, shock, and apprehension as people braced themselves for an uncertain future. But what happened after the partition was announced? The aftermath was chaotic and heart-wrenching. The partition didn't just draw a line on a map, it etched deep and lasting scars on the hearts of millions. The announcement sparked one of the largest mass migrations in human history, with millions of Hindus, Sikhs, and Muslims packing their lives into suitcases and setting off towards what they hoped would be a better future. Whole communities uprooted, leaving behind ancestral homes and journeyed across newly drawn borders. The migration wasn't peaceful. Violence followed these caravans of hope, turning them into processions of despair. The air was heavy with fear and suspicion, stoking the fires of communal violence. These tensions escalated into brutal riots, claiming countless lives and leaving many more scarred, both physically and emotionally. The partition was a moment of jubilation for some, dreaming of new nations and independence. But for many, it was a time of unimaginable suffering and loss, a cataclysmic event that reshaped the destiny of millions. The partition of India was a moment of jubilation for some, but a time of unimaginable suffering and loss for others. So, what are the key takeaways from the partition of India? It's a tale of political maneuvering and religious tensions, a sequence of events leading to a painful, earth-shaking division. The aftermath? It was tragic, marked by massive displacement and heartbreaking loss of life. The partition of India was more than just a historical event. It was a transformative moment that forever altered the geopolitical landscape of South Asia. The legacy of this tumultuous time continues to reverberate even today.